Hello there, right here we have a brand new 1.15 snapshot that was just released. This is 1.15 pre-release 2, and with the pre-releases, they aren't always releasing them on Wednesday. They're just trying to release them as soon as they have a bunch of bug fixes to show to the community. Then they want our feedback on it so that they can go ahead and fix some more bugs. Now they did say that they're going to come up with a 1.15 full release on December 10th. So make sure if you still recognize some major bugs in the game, go ahead and report them. And hopefully they'll be fixed before the full release. In this video, we will be reviewing all the changes that came with the newest snapshot. And remember guys, every Wednesday and Friday, we do the snapshot testing stream with the viewers. You guys can hop on to our creative world as we mess around with the newest changes. So if you haven't already followed me on Twitch, go ahead and do that. And guys, I am using my new microphone. So if you have any suggestions on how to tweak it, let me know down in the comments. Now let's get into all the new changes with 1.15 pre-release 2. So a new change to pre-release 2 is the tweaked chunked loading performance calculations. So this should make it better when loading up chunks, and it should improve the performance as well. These are kind of optimizations that we're really looking for, especially for people that are thinking about updating their servers to 1.15 or even updating their single players. They now added a message when you sleep in bed and you reset your spawn points. Let's go ahead and click on the bed. You can also sleep in bed at any time of the day. Right there you see it says you can only sleep at night or during a thunderstorm, but you can also see in chat it said respawn point set. They don't tell you where it's set at, but at least it reminds you that it has changed. So that's really nice. That way it gives you a reminder that your spawn is changed now. They also added new stats for the grindstone as well as the anvil. Let's go ahead and try them out. So I'm guessing this one has to do with how many times you used the anvil. And let's go ahead and try the grindstone as well. And let's check our statistics. So here's one of them, interactions with the anvil. You can see it had one interaction with the anvil. And here's the interactions with a grindstone, another new statistic. You can see it's counting up my statistics. So yeah, very cool. I love the stats in the game. It just gives you more interactions to kind of see how far you come in your world. And as you guys know, on the Project server, we love to keep track of our stats and compare them with the other members. They fixed a problem to do with horses. So when the horse would start trying to walk to an area and you would hop onto it, and you ride the horse somewhere else, and once you get off, the horse would attempt to try to walk back to the same area where it was headed off to before you start riding it. And this often made it so that when people got off the horse would walk all the way back to where they originally started. So it might be way back thousands of blocks. So it's really nice to see that bug being fixed. They fixed a problem to do with summoning in slime that had custom max health attributes. The problem was they weren't working. I know it's a little problem to do with slime. It looks like their texture is kind of like flickering on the very bottom when they're hitting the ground. You kind of see the colorings kind of changing right down there. So the rendering of them isn't quite right. They now added so the particles that come from barrier blocks, that's essentially how you can see them, were not visible when they were in the offhand. And they now added them. They fixed a couple of different issues to do with Endermen and different projectiles being applied to them. So if you guys don't know, when it comes to actually trying to hit these Endermen with something like a bow and arrow, it doesn't work. They essentially teleport away in most circumstances instantly. But if you have them out here in the void where they can't teleport anywhere, they'll actually just reflect your arrow. And yeah, they're pretty good at that. And you can't do any damage to them. But if you had these potion effect arrows or even spectral arrows, it was possible to hit them with it. You can see we can no longer apply the effects to them. And it was also saying that the arrow did hit and playing the hit arrow sound against Enderman. Which I guess technically in this situation, the arrow is like hitting him and ricocheting off him. You can also see the arrow ricocheting off the player because anybody in creative will also ricochet arrows. Now there is a really strange bug that's in the game. Recently they changed it so that splash water bottles will affect blazes as well as Endermen. I guess they didn't really test it because when you try to apply the effect onto Enderman, it will do absolutely nothing. Even in situations like this where he can't teleport. And if you don't think the Enderman is supposed to be affected by projectiles, they should be at least affected by Lingering Potion, which is technically an entity. So if we press F3 plus B, but you'll notice that even the Lingering Potions don't do any type of effect cloud for the Enderman, and they don't damage them whatsoever. I find this pretty strange because they actually said that water bottles, when used to kill Endermen, will now make Endermen drop XPs, but yeah, it's impossible to hit them with them. So it'd be a really nice thing if this would get fixed. So I went ahead and wrote a bug report for this, and you can find it down below. And be sure to go ahead and upvote it, because hopefully it'll get fixed. That way we can actually use splash water bottles to damage Endermen. Very similar to like using water in a bucket. Like if you put water right here, you can see it damages him. They also fix these problems to do with tridents applied to these guys. you see they no longer bounce off of him, instead they'll go straight through him. So it's kind of different than like the arrows, which do bounce off of him. They now made it so that escape will allow you to go kind of backwards. So if you're on this page while creating a new world and you hit escape, it'll take you to this page instead of taking it all the way back to the actual menu. They fixed that annoying bug that has been in the game for a little while, which is fire charges are actually being used up in creative when you are applying them. And it made it pretty annoying because a lot of people use this to update buds and eventually run out of fire charges even though you're in creative. They fixed a bug to do with the Elder Guardian and applying their haste effect. That little particle effect comes over the player when the effect is applied to them. And that little symbol of the Guardian that kind of swishes past the screen was actually being placed too high on the screen. So let's see if we can get the effect applied to us. There you see it. So it looks nice. It starts nice and large. To the bottom, there's a problem with foxes being able to spawn in giant tree taiga, but not the spruce variation. So if you go over here a little ways, you can see now it's called giant spruce taiga. You can see it right here. The only really difference between the two biomes is the tree types are more spruce kind of shape. You guys see these long, slender Christmas tree-like ones. So now you get foxes to spawn in both biomes. So they fixed it so that tame foxes won't only defend the player against mobs that shoot arrows, like skeletons. They'll also do other ones. Let's go ahead and just summon in something like a endermite. It should be something easy enough for this guy to attack. There it is. And let's go into survival mode. And the endermite should attack us. It does. It hurt me. Oh yeah, the fox is attacking it back. That is awesome. That is amazing. So they're become quite a bit more useful then. Hey, horse. Horse want to join us down here? Because these guys can also be given the looting sword, unlike wolves, which also attack stuff that attacks you. But wolves are a little bit different. They will automatically attack skeletons. The fox won't automatically attack skeletons. If we summon in like a wither skeleton, you notice the fox won't automatically attack it. He only attacks stuff that attacks the player. That's a common question you guys ask me, if you can just give the fox a looting 3 sword and then have him attack stuff, but he won't attack it on himself. You'd have to have the wither skeleton attack you, and then he'd come in and attack the wither skeleton. We did design a farm that would allow a fox to use looting through on the wither skeleton, but it wasn't very efficient, so we never made a video about it. If you guys don't know how to get tame foxes, you take 2 wild ones and you breed them up and you'll get a baby one. And this one will be kind of tame towards you, and if you want to, you can increase his growth by feeding him more berries. So now he's grown, and now he's kind of trusting the player. He's not completely tame, but he will actually defend the player. There was kind of a glitch when the player would sleep in a bed. If there was something above his head, like a sea lantern, it caused the player to kind of go into sneaky mode. There has been other weird glitches to do with beds in the past, like putting blocks like this would actually make the player get pushed out. But now you can see you can't even sleep in a bed like this. It says it's obstructed. Even this one's obstructed. If you do this, it still says obstructed. So yeah, the best you could do is have 2 air above it. That's something that has changed as well. They fixed a quirkiness that I've shown you guys quite a few times, which is when you're creative and you fly over top of something like soul sand or honey blocks, it would slow the player down. And now you can see that no longer occurs. So if I even do F3 plus B to show my hitbox and go into this mode, you can see I'm really close to it. It's not giving me any kind of slowness effect. Let's see if they also did this with slime as well. Yeah, slime is not giving me any slowness either. That is nice because the bug was kind of annoying when just building in creative. There was a problem that when you throw items and they slide down the honey block, they weren't producing any particles. So let me show you with a player. So my player goes down, you can see the particles that are coming from my feet as I slide down it. Now let's try a wither skeleton. Oh yeah, you can see particles coming off him now. But I don't see any particles coming from like items. But maybe they just never introduced that. There was a rendering problem to do with ender pearls. When you throw them, there's this kind of cooldown. You can see it slowly move from the top to the bottom when you throw an ender pearl. Go ahead and watch it. That cooldown bar was actually solid white, and this is the problem we've seen in the past, and it's fixed once again. They also changed it so that when you throw items up against the honey blocks and they start sliding down, they were keeping their horizontal momentum, meaning that if you threw it at an angle like this, they were zipping across and flying off the other side very easily, and weren't being slowed down horizontally when applied to the slime. But now when I throw it with a little bit of a side motion, you can see they do move to the side, but they move just as slow as if they're moving downwards. So it makes you wonder if they fixed it so that slime will also push entities from the side, or if that is still broken in the game. Let's put a lever here. Yeah. I'm pressed up against the slime. It's not moving me. That definitely needs to be fixed as we're getting really close to the full release and honey blocks still don't work properly. So guys, be sure to go ahead and upvote that bug report that I linked down below. I wonder if the stickiness still don't work on the front as well. So if entity is pressed up the front and you retract it, no, don't pull it. Definitely not good when they haven't fixed that yet. So hopefully they'll fix that before the full release. They fixed name tags and how they show up in the horse's inventory. So if you look in the horse's inventory, you can see the little name over here that's on top of this horse. And you can also see the name over here, so it's showing up correctly now. And it's kind of funny how you can move the horse's model around. The change of way particles come off from honey blocks, so instead of always being applied down by the feet, if the player just happened to have his head by the honey block, it would be put near the head. There was a problem that the glowing effect was going away from mobs that were also applied with invisibility. So yeah, now you can see he's invisible, but he can still have the glowing effect. There was a problem with nether portals. When going through another portal and then coming back the other direction, instead of taking you to the original one, it was making a new one in the wrong location. The nausea effect was making it so that when a player would break stuff, it would show up incorrectly. And they went ahead and fixed that. The little hand animation which occurs when placing fire with a fire charge was also being applied when trying to use it on water. You can see it's no longer doing that, so it has been fixed. The smooth lighting effect wasn't applying towards beds and chest in the previous snapshots. That looks really good. Creepers as well as TNT when lit were flashing differently than before. Now there's this bug in the game where you ignite TNT with the player and a mob dies from it, it will drop the XPs, as you've seen there. But if you ignite a creeper and it blows up, any mobs nearby will not drop any XPs. Let's go ahead and do it here. So ignite that by the player, you see don't drop any XPs. So I wrote a bug report for that, and I would really appreciate if you guys go ahead and upvote it, because it makes sense that TNT as well as creepers lit by the player should act the same. And both should allow XPs to be dropped by anything they kill. So hopefully that'll get fixed pretty soon. They fixed a bug to do with players crashing when they get close to gateway portals. Let's go ahead and just stick our head in it, and yeah. There was some inconsistency with jungle trees growing. Instead of growing up to heights as high as 12 blocks, they're only going up to 10. And they said they went ahead and changed this back. Overall, I gotta say it's a pretty good snapshot. They fixed a lot of kind of bugs that you would definitely run into the game. Also added some new features. I'm really hoping they fix problems like with the honey blocks not having all the features that they talked about, and other little bugs that are inconsistent across the board. And if you guys know of any other bugs that are still in the game, be sure to go ahead and update the version in which they are still broken in. That way the developers will make sure to look at them before the full release comes out. And make sure to go ahead and drop the video a like, as well as share it so that people know about the new changes to 1.15, as it will be coming out pretty soon. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and bye-bye!